My Blu-ray collection, part 38. Ahoy hoy everybody, and welcome to part 38. Have a look at my Blu-ray collection. Films, TV, possibly some music and comedy. We shall see. Just no box sets because I've already shown those. So first up we have SpiderMan Homecoming, which I absolutely loved. Probably my favourite Spider-Man film. I have Far From Home, I just haven't watched it yet, which is becoming a recurring theme in these last few videos. It's just a great film, which I'm sure you've all seen. If those of you who are interested in it. This is Future World. This was the sequel to Westworld, which I've already shown, I'm pretty certain. I basically just got this because I loved Westworld, both for a film and a TV series, but this is a sequel obviously to the film. Wolverine is in it for 2 seconds pretty much, maybe a bit longer, but for a, 108 minute film, I think he got no more than 5 minutes of screen time. So it's been several years since the Westworld disaster. They're ready to reopen it, replacing it with Future World. But a journalist played by Peter Fonda, is sent to sort of review it, and he's convinced that everything's still not right. And one of his informants gets murdered, so he knows it's not right. So with a fellow reporter played by Blythe Danner, they investigate. It's nowhere near as good as the first. It has its moments. This is a film I love, another film I've owned on every format. This is Strange Days by Catherine Bigelow, written by James Cameron. So it's set in, at the time it was set in the future. It was set on New Year's Eve 1999. And it's a world where people can record their memories, and there's a market in selling other people's memories and sort of hacking into them and watching them in your own mind. So Ralph Fiennes is a former cop who now deals in these memories, which is a form of drug really, and he gets involved in a conspiracy and lots of wrong-uns, including his ex, Juliette Lewis, who's a singer in a nightclub who sings PJ Harvey songs very well. It's just a really good sort of futuristic noir thrillery type film that I really love. It's Cars 3, nice embossed slip. I have mentioned before, I'm that strange person whose favourite Cars film is Cars 2. I much prefer it to 1 and 3. But it was, they're all good films and it's perfectly fine. This is The Magic Christian, starring Peter Sellers and Ringo Starr. This is a very strange film, but could have been a lot better than it actually is. So Peter Sellers is the world's richest man, so Guy Grand, he decides he doesn't like his family, so he's going to adopt a son. So he finds this homeless guy played by Ringo Starr and adopts him as his son. And they decide between them that they're going to test the limits of human greed. It's, very strange. It's funny in parts, but as I say, it could have been a lot better than it is. John Cleese pops up. Him and Graham Chapman did some writing for it, but not much of what they wrote was used. I'm not sure if they even still get a credit. No, they don't get a credit, but they did do some writing. This is for Ragnarok, the good Thor film. The first one wasn't too bad, the second one wasn't great. But this is fantastic. Written and directed by Taika Waititi. I think he wrote it. I'm saying that. Certainly directed by him. I think he certainly had a hand in the writing. But it's just a brilliant film. Really funny, really good action as well. Great performances all round. possibly my favourite Marvel film. Possibly. Speaking of Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. First one is another contender for my favourite Marvel film. This one, not as good, but still a lot of fun. It's a great cast of characters. It's just fun being around. Wonder Woman. I'm trying to work out why there's sellotape on the top and bottom of this. Pass. Yeah, it's Wonder Woman. You're all familiar with Wonder Woman. It did huge business at the box office. It has sold millions of copies on physical media. Really good film. Enjoyed it a lot. Justice League. Right, here we go. I quite liked it, personally. I can see why people don't. I think it could have been a lot better, and I'm hoping I get to see the Snyder Cut. Depends how it's released over here. Obviously, it's going to be on HBO Max Plus or something in the States. I think normally that stuff normally goes on Sky, which I haven't got, but I'm hoping it will get a physical release as well. It'll be interesting to see the Snyder Cut. But I just love, it's got Batman in it, and I love Batman. So, it's not a great film, but I enjoyed it. This is a great film. This is Carol, Todd Haynes' film. Yeah, Todd Haynes. So, basically, Rooney Mara is a shop assistant in a New York department store, working in the toy department, I think. She meets Kate Blanchett, who's a customer, and they sort of hit it off, and they get involved in a relationship with each other. It's really well done. A time when homosexual relations, this is set in 50s, possibly 40s, 50s, around then. Time when these things weren't out in the open. Really good film. This is Vacation. So I love the Chevy Chase vacation films, particularly the first one, and European to a slightly lesser extent, but they're all fun. So this was a reboot, just called Vacation, starring Ed Helms as, I'm trying to remember without looking, no, I'm going to have to look, Rusty, the son of Clark Griswold, Chevy Chase, and it's basically the same sort of plot. They're heading, I think they're even heading for Wally World. Yes. So it's very similar to the plot of the first one, just many years later. But it's a lot of fun again. It's not quite as good as the original. But yeah. Enjoyed it still. X-Men Origins Wolverine. So this was the first X-Men film outside the proper X-Men films. You know what I mean, don't you? And it wasn't great, unfortunately. They redeemed it with the rest of the Wolverine and Logan, which is amazing. But this, not so much. It's fun and enjoyable, but famously, they got Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool before the Deadpool films, whose whole shtick is that he's gobby, he's the merc with a mouth, and they make him mute. What's the point? There's lots of missed opportunities in it. Still with the X-Men, because we're at the end of the shelves and bits of this were in alphabetical order. We have First Class, possibly my favourite X-Men film, certainly up there. Really good. I'm sure most of you have seen these films. I'm not going into too much depth. Similarly, Wreck-It Ralph, excellent Disney film, which I will be watching again in a few weeks because I'm nearly up to this in my box set. But yeah, I have the second film. I haven't watched it yet, funnily enough. But yeah, brilliant film. I hope most of you have seen this. If not, you should. Okay, let's do these. And then there'll be one more part. So this is Savages. which I picked up cheap in HMV, I think, purely because it's an Oliver Stone film. I wasn't really aware of it before then. I liked it. I liked it a fair bit. It's basically about some marijuana dealers in California who come to the attention of a Mexican drug cartel run by Salma Hayek, and there's conflicts between them. It's basically a drama with thriller elements, but really well done. Apart from Salma Hayek, Taylor Kitsch, Blake Lively, Aaron Johnson, John Travolta, Benicio del Toro. Decent cast, but as you know, I'm a big fan of Oliver Stone, so picked that up and enjoyed it. The live action Beauty and the Beast, I absolutely loved this. When I watched this, I hadn't seen the animated Beauty and the Beast. I have now. So this was all completely fresh to me. But yeah, I thought it was excellent. Emma Watson, Dan Stevens, Luke Evans, Kevin Kline, Josh Gad, all excellent. And the animated, you know, the enchanted ornaments, if you like. Ewan McGregor, Stanley Tucci, Gugu and Buffer Raw, Ian McKellen, Emma Thompson, you know, all really good. But yeah, absolutely loved that. Pirates of the Caribbean? Pirates of the Caribbean, Salazar's Revenge. I've just realised, when I say the films, I say Caribbean, but when I'm talking normally, I say Caribbean. This is the last one, isn't it? Yeah. It was okay, it was fun. None of them have been as good as the first one. It was nice to have Orlando back and Kira back briefly. I liked Kaya Scudero and what was it, Brendan Thwaites as the new young couple in it. It was okay, but none of them are match for the first one. This is Moana, which is another one that I will be watching again shortly because I'm nearly at that stage. Just fantastic film. Really, really enjoyed this. One of my favourite Disney films, I would probably say. But if you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. Okay, so that's it for part 38. There's going to be one more part, so keep an eye on the playlist for that. It'll probably be up next week. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.